Hey, how's it going? So, this guy is a platinum player, and I figured out kind of how to beat Tryndamere. Oh, not Tryndamere, but Volibear, right? So this is the toughest matchup for Tryndamere is Volibear. Now, one thing I'll note is this guy has wrong runes, right? So I'll just highlight this. But this champ is extremely powerful into Tryndamere. Very, very strong. So another thing is he took boots as opposed to Ruby. That might have been a mistake. So here are some things about Volibear and Tryndamere is that Tryndamere basically is, well, Volibear is basically your counter, honestly, when you think about it, right? On Summoner's Rift, you should dodge. There's no way you're going to beat him on Summoner's Rift. On, okay, I'll just pause this for a sec. Okay, so on Aram, you have to. This is the only way you can trade with him is if you start Guardian Hammer and Cloth Armor. And you have to dodge the damage from his magic shield. Basically, you must never get hit by his shield, right? Now, if he gets hit by it, he gets the armor thing, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't get hit by the shield, because if you get hit by the storm thing, it does sick damage, absolutely sick. And then it slows you and it becomes this disgusting, untradeable situation for you, right? So you can spin forward to avoid the storm damage. That's okay, right? All right, so how do you actually beat him? And the answer to that is you can only out CS him. There is just no way you can actually turret dive him. Unless he is extremely bad, there is just no way you can kill him actually. There is just no way to do it, right? Because I'll tell you why, right? He's going to stun you, right? So look at the cooldown difference, right? So you have 12 seconds and he has 14 seconds, right? 13 seconds here. You see, so your cooldown on a spin is almost the same as his spells, right? So if you try to turret dive him, this is going to mess you up, right? Look, Volibear gains 10% move speed, right? So, right, I used to think that he gets move speed when he moves towards you, but he just gets move speed anyway, right? So that's you won't catch him, right? If you turret dive him, you're just gonna fail hard, right? Why? Because he's gonna run away, he's gonna stun you, he's gonna get a shield for 3 seconds. Just think about it, like the turret is hitting you, he's shielded, right? He's going to slow you, you can't even hit him, right? Then he can bite you and start kiting you, and after 5 seconds he heals again, right? And if all fails, he can just dash away with this thing. And this thing has longer range than your spin. This has 700 range, and your spin has 660 range. So again, he also gets 50 attack speed. Like everything is designed for him. It is impossible to dive him, right? I'm just saying you can try it all you like, unless he's shit. There is no way on the face of this galaxy you're gonna dive this guy. So that's out of the question, right? So how do you actually beat him? We can only out CS him, and that's it. The key to victory is to exploit his very long cooldowns. His cooldowns are very, very high, and this is by far the most important key to beating the Volibear, right? Is he has to first mark you as vulnerable, right? And then when you're when you are vulnerable, he can only then bite you to get healing, right? And when he heals by a lot, right? So the key, never ever allow him to heal, from you, right? Because now his passive healing is a bit OP. I'll tell you now, like his regeneration, especially if he goes Horn and Ruby, is sick. It's just sick, right? But, but, you have to factor in that he does almost no damage. His damage is very bad. If you go this route, his damage is so shit, right? As long as you don't get hit by the storm, you always outtrade him, always, right? So what you do is, right, he comes up to you, you smack him, he tries to bite you. Well, he tries to do this thing on you, right? He's going to mark you. For 5 seconds, you can just smash him and smash him and smash him and smash him. And then as 5 seconds are getting close, you have to spin away and run away. Otherwise, he's going to stun you and bite you. And all of the damage you've done is now wasted because he now healed. And now he basically outtrades you. If he heals, he outtrades you, right? So you have to avoid at all costs of him healing you, right? So that's one thing. So number one, the most important thing, do not get beaten by this guy. So he will mark you, you attack him. As soon as you feel that 5 seconds have getting close, so he's gonna bite you, run away, just spin out, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, on full fury, as long as you don't get hit by the what you call this, by the storm, the armor, this thing, sky splitter, whatever the hell it's called, right? You will outtrade him even if he bites you, right? Because on full fury you do sick damage, sickening damage, right? And on full fury you just like he's only like the only thing he can do on full fury is like this, like he's going to attack you, he's going to stun you, try to do the Stormbringer, you spin forward and you just literally just go all in, just attack all the way to his turret, right? This will push him off the minion wave and this will allow you to farm for free, right? So you need, like I used to take blade, but you need to get the hammer so you can heal, right? Because his regeneration and your lifesteal is gonna be the same, almost the same, right? So make sure not to use your Q unless he's like super far away and he has literally no health. Do not use your Q to heal off the minions, all right, from the lifesteal. That's the second key. So keep your fury up. Number one, don't get beaten, right? If you keep your fury up, if you're on full fury, just all in him, and as soon as you can avoid his sky splinter thing, right, all in him, right, all in him, you're gonna win the trades against him, right? So that's the second thing. And third thing is, do not try to turret dive him. Under no circumstances try to turret dive him, right? You have to win by CS. You have to. There's no other way, right? And that's about it, right? That's about it. So number one, don't get beaten, right? Number two, on full fury, as long as you can dodge his sky sprinter thing, you will always outtrade him, always, right? And three, do not try to turret dive him, win by CS, okay? And when your fury is up, you have to heal through lifesteal, not through your Q. And that's pretty much it. That's about it, right? Yeah. Like the idea about beating him is, in long trades you win, kind of like against Garen. Think about Garen, right? In short trades he wins. In long trades you win. So the only thing about difference in here is that you can turret dive Garen, but in here you cannot turret dive at all, right? So you just have to kind of short trade him until he runs away to his turret. You come back, you farm, right? Try to only last hit so you get to keep the minions in here, because I mean look at the difference in CS, right? As we keep going, his CS is just diminishing, you see? Now in the beginning, of course, it's very hard to keep the CS going, because I mean the waves are we're still kind of in the beginning phase, trading, right? But look, he already used up all his pots, and I'm already on 3 pots. You know what I'm saying? So you see as time passes, he just starts falling off. Oh yeah, and another thing is with scaling runes, with this overgrowth thing, you actually outscale him. You actually, not by a lot, not by a lot, but you start to gain a small advantage, right? Very, very small advantage. Because he does not do, the only percentage damage he does is in here when he bites you, and in here when he does a slow. But we already established neither of those abilities should ever affect you, right? They should never affect you. If they do, you lose, right? So you have to learn how to avoid them, right? And past that point, you simply outscale him a little bit, right? And then of course he cannot CS because you're controlling your minion wave. So you have to be good at minion wave management in here. You have to, right? This is the hardest matchup, so you can't afford to be shitty at anything against this guy. Because if you're bad at anything, he just automatically wins because it's just a complete counter pick into you, right? It's not like Tam Kench, where Tam Kench is kind of like a counter pick. The problem with Tam Kench is his damage is so shit, it's just beyond stupid, right? And he's so bad at farming, it's beyond stupid, right? You can do a lot of things with Tam Kench that you cannot do with this guy, right? So that's what I'm saying is that's the only way so far, right? I found how to beat him, right? That's the only way, is to out farm him and keep pushing him off the wave, and you eventually slowly start to outscale him, right? Because if you look at the difference, right, in CS, he will start falling off, right? And he just says, "Oh, boring game, blah blah blah," because I froze the wave in here, and there was really not much you could do, right? Like we would just keep doing what I told you to do. Is like he approaches, he tries to outtrade me, I dodge his storm, and I just smash absolute shit out of him, right? Until he gets to here, right? And he's like super low. Why is he still here? Oh yeah, because he quit, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. But let's watch the game. Actually, I'll make a separate video so you can watch the game, right? I'll call this part one, and then the full game is gonna be part two, right? So, but you see the problem, like his minions like always pushing into me. I'm already on 29 CS, and like he's just no cooldowns, right? His cooldowns are gone. I still have my ult is coming up. I still have my cooldowns, right? Or my summoners, and he has literally nothing, right? So in this position, at this position, it's perfect for you because you just push him off the wave, right? You scale, and then as time progresses, it becomes harder and harder for him to approach and farm. And you just because if he just approaches and farm, you just literally right click him up to here until he either dies or he's so low that he has to ult, and then you have the wave back. You farm, farm, farm. I also have a condition where if you fall behind by 25 CS, you just lose. So that's what happened to him. He realized he just cannot win because he cannot smash his hand into the keyboard and win because I literally, all my one-on-ones for the past day now have been only against Volibear. I wrote in the game description, Volley versus Tryndamere, please play Volibear. So I played a lot of Volibear games against Volibear, right? So I kind of figured out how to beat him at this stage, right? So yeah. All right, let's recap. Let's recap. Number one, right? Number one, do not get beaten by him, right? So when he first strikes you with the frenzy, you have like 4 seconds you can smack him, and then you have to retreat. You have to retreat. Then he cannot heal, right? So that's one number key. Number two, do not get hit by this thing ever, right? You must not ever get hit by this thing, right? Number three, keep your fury up and only heal through your guardian hammer, right? In an all in, on full fury, in an all in, you win if you don't get hit by the storm, all right? And then so you also slightly outscale him, right? And the only way to beat him is to out CS him. You cannot turret dive him. And final recap is you have to start Guardian Hammer and Armor. There is no other items that I have tried everything. I tried Blade, I tried Horn with Ruby, Horn with Armor, Horn with um, Rejuvenation Bead. I tried Blade with Ruby, Blade with Armor, like every possible combination I already tried. Right, this is by far the best. Right, and you have to have scaling runes so you can just outscale. Honestly, I suspect a little bit that Tryndamere actually just outscales him naturally because as time passes, you can W. You see, like damage reduction from W is kind of high. Actually, I'm thinking you can honestly maybe not even level up E. You can just have level up W and just nullify his damage that way, right? Because think about it this way: E you only use to avoid his Sky Splitter, right? And the rest of the time you're literally just running after him and smashing him, and you can slow him much better. Actually, I'm gonna test this because if I slow him much better with W, I can squeeze in a lot more auto attacks as he's running away, because in a long trade you just destroy him basically. And on full fury, as long as you don't get hit by this thing, you always out trade him even if he has the bite available, right? Because the damage on full fury, the damage you do is so sick, especially when you stack up your lethal tempo, is just beyond stupid, right? And make sure you keep your fury up so you don't lose crits. You beat him with crits basically, for sure. And of course, don't try to turret dive him. And the key to beating him is just to wave manipulation. You have to be good at wave manipulation to beat him, and that's it. All right, so that's the recap, and I'll make next video is just actually going to be the full game. All right, take care.